want to talk to you about something that is so hot, but so overlooked oftentimes when we are in the bedroom, and that is playing with boundary. Actually, having some limits on where we will go, what's in bounds, what's out of bounds, and how we can use that tension to really up the intensity and the sexual tension between us and our beloveds. Hello, I am Darshana Avila, and I am your guide to all things erotic wholeness. And as always, really delighted to be here with you talking about ways that you can have deeper intimacy and more pleasure in all aspects of your life. Be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future musings. But back to this idea of playing with boundaries and limits. I want you to think about when you were young and first beginning to get sexual, maybe as a teenager or a young adult, and what it was like to just be focused on making out, going to second base, things like that, and all of the sexual tension and the excitement that got built up because we had some boundaries in place. Now, the thing that happens to many of us in our adulthood is that once we escalate to sexual intercourse, to genital focus, we can kind of forget that it's okay to have experiences that don't always include or focus on that. And that when we do, it adds some novelty. And it really can just be a real fun way to introduce a wider scope of sensual intimacy that isn't all about our genitals. So let me give you some ideas. Okay, this idea of playing with boundary. What that could look like is, for instance, saying, tonight we're not taking our bottoms off, and our exploration can include everywhere else on our body, and we can be as creative as we want to be, but our pants are staying on. And just watch what happens when there's actually a limitation in place and how much excitement can get brought up from that. Another way to play with boundaries is to decide a particular part of the body that you are going to focus on. So for instance, you can say, this session, it's going to be all about neck and throat. And you can explore different ways to use your hands, your mouth, other toys and sensations, and be, exploring these very sensual, sensitive areas of the body, nibbling and kissing and so on and so forth. And again, watch what happens when there's a really particular focus and some boundaries in place, because it gives us a little something to push against, and that can be a real aphrodisiac. Another really delicious way to play, says I mean, you get to decide for yourself, is making out. Oh my gosh, making out can be so good when you really give your focus to it, give your passion and your energy to it, really getting curious about all the ways that mouths can move together and where else on your body you can kiss and nibble and lick and suck and blow and do all of these things. Slow it down, speed it up, a little more intensity, a little less. When you play with these variables, you can kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and time absolutely just dissolves. Again, this is one of those things where often we feel like anytime kissing starts or touching starts, that it has to be an escalator to intercourse or to some kind of genital focus. And I would invite that sometimes a good old-fashioned makeout can be a wonderful way to invite a spaciousness and a renewed enthusiasm for intimate connection into your relationship. And it takes some of the pressure off, because many times we do feel like, oh gosh, I have to perform in this way. This act has to happen. And over time, that can actually cause us to resent or to shy away from sex, to resist it altogether. But when we know that there's a wider range of what's possible, and it doesn't always have to be focused on our genitals, really that relaxation can do so much for the bigger picture. Think about how that might work for you. Can you imagine yourself playing with boundaries, having a really hot, steamy makeout session, and letting that be enough? It's a really beautiful way to play. A couple other ideas I want to offer to you. A sensual massage. Really, really taking your time, getting the yummy massage oils, slowing it down, playing with different sensations, different kind of touch. Check out that video on my menu of touch if you haven't seen it yet, because that might give you some ideas. full body contact, really taking your time, listening and attuning to your lover is a really wonderful way to engage and to be intimate. It may or may not include genital massage. That genital massage may or may not be about arousal. So you've got options here, and it's a way to be both like very loving, caring, and nurturing, but also introduce a little heat and a little sexiness into the dynamic. Another fun way to play is a sensual striptease. Think about that. Turn on some music that you really like, get into your body. And yeah, maybe there's some self consciousness there, and I encourage you to lean into that gently and curiously and see if maybe that is a growth edge for you to allow yourself to be seen as sensual, as sexual in this way. And think about it not necessarily just as a performance for the other person, but a way of really embodying your own eros, your own sensuality. The truth is, you don't even need another person involved. You can do a sensual striptease for yourself, dance in front of the mirror, put on something that makes you feel really wonderful, take it off slowly, or don't take it off at all. But being in motion, being in that rhythmic, undulating energy can open up so much eros within you, and then you get to channel that where you want. So I hope that these ideas offer you some inspiration, and I would love to hear if and how you put them to use. Please comment below. Be sure to subscribe so that you're getting more of these little morsels, and know that I am cheering for you on your journey to erotic wholeness. I'll see you back here soon.